Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. Today is Wednesday, May 19th. I'm Stephanie Haney. Thanks for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. You all are tracking a lot of stories today on our website, so we're going to get right into it now. We start with breaking news. All 7 of the people who remain with charges related to the death of Stone Foltz, the Bowling Green State University sophomore who died after an alcohol-related incident with a fraternity, have pleaded not guilty to all of the charges that they face. They appeared in court today in the case, and the charges range from first-degree felony manslaughter to reckless homicide and hazing. Now, additional charges could still come as a result of the investigation, which is still ongoing. Now, I know you probably remember hearing that there were 8 men initially involved, but 21-year-old Benjamin Boyer's 2 misdemeanor charges were dropped. So he no longer a part of the case. As a reminder, it was on March 20th when Stone Foltz, age 20, was at a Pike fraternity event, new member initiation. And what we've learned from officers, what officers and investigators say, is that new members, or the littles as they're called, were given alcohol from their bigs or their mentors and told to drink the entire bottle. And Foltz allegedly drank almost the entire bottle before being dropped off at his apartment, where he was found by his roommates, who called 911, and he later died. He died on March 7th. The coroner said that his blood alcohol content, or BAC, was 0.394, and the legal limit to be considered legally drunk in Ohio is 0.08. Now to what's happening today in Washington, D.C. Today, the U.S. House of Representatives is expected to pass a bill in support of a 9/11-style commission to look into the deadly January 6th insurrection that happened at the U.S. Capitol. Now, this would be a first step toward an independent bipartisan panel that would investigate what happened and try to stop it from happening again, or try to figure out ways that would stop it from happening again. A commission, however, we are learning would be a much more difficult sell in the Senate. Now, Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell said Tuesday that he is pushing the pause button on legislation to form a commission. Now, the Democrats control the Senate, but they would need at least 10 Republican votes to pass the measure under the current Senate rules. Former President Donald Trump released a statement on Tuesday night telling Republicans not to approve this. He called it a Democratic trap. Now, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, a Democrat, says he will hold a vote on the bill despite Republican objections. He says that the Republicans are caving to former President Trump, who is the same man who encouraged his supporters to head to Capitol Hill that day, stop the counting of electoral votes, and overturn his defeat to Democrat Joe Biden, the current president. And as a reminder, the events on January 6th resulted in 5 deaths and more than 140 injuries. As we take a look at the new CDC guidance that's come out, that's now saying that people who are fully vaccinated are not required to wear masks indoors or outdoor in crowds, Walgreens and Kroger are the latest companies to join the list of stores who will no longer require masks for fully vaccinated customers. Now, stores are taking different approaches here. Some are saying that they will follow the CDC guidance. There are some stores, however, who are still requiring masks for all customers. If you want to take a look at who is and who isn't, we've got that full breakdown on WKYC.com. And as a reminder, President Joe Biden has announced that there will be free Uber and Lyft rides to try and get more Americans vaccinated. These are to get you to and from your COVID-19 vaccination appointments. This is part of that push to get a majority of Americans vaccinated by the 4th of July. Now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers. These first ones come from Johns Hopkins University. Globally, there have been 164,387,580 reported COVID-19 cases. Here in the U.S., we have 20.1% of those cases, with being 33 million, that number being 33,008,319. Globally, the total number of deaths is now at 3,407,915. In the U.S., we have 17.2% of those reported deaths. That number is 587,493. Here in Ohio, the Ohio Department of Health has reported 918 new COVID-19 cases in the last day. We've seen 104 new hospitalizations. That number is down from yesterday. But there are 834 people currently in the hospital being treated for COVID. That number is slightly up. Also, 243 of those people currently in the ICU, that number also slightly up. And we've seen 6 new ICU admissions in the last day. That number is down. As of last check, the Ohio Department of Health had not yet reported updated vaccination numbers. Now today, we have learned more about a bold new plan to renovate Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Robert Kennedy, who is the city of Cleveland's port director, says it's a bold plan and it's a big plan. And it includes plans to renovate pretty much everything. He says that there are critical elements that need to be addressed at Cleveland. That includes reviewing ticketing, check-in, baggage inspection systems, security screening checkpoints, waiting areas, and gates. Also, roadways, parking, and rental car areas, he says, need improvement. What he says doesn't need improvement is more runways. He says that work does need to be done on the airfield, but they won't be expanding beyond the current boundaries of the airport. And now that plan must be submitted to the FAA for review. Now, right around the corner from Cleveland Hopkins International Airport, there's a plan to reopen the 100th Bomb Group restaurant that was closed in the past year. It'll be reimagined as something called the Aviation Event Center, and it'll have a new theme and a boutique pub. So it'll be breathing new life into something that's been a staple for decades in the Cleveland area. So the focus will be on weddings, showers, celebrations, and corporate events. And there will be a new theme still centered around aviation, but no longer centered around World War II. Now, the rebranding will generate a projected almost $4 million in revenue per year. That's according to officials. 90 new jobs and annual payroll of $1 million by its 5th year. So that could bring a lot of business to the Cleveland area if things go as projected. There's a new restaurant also coming to the Cleveland Heights area. This will be where the Melt restaurant used to be. It's called the Haunted House Restaurant, a very unique concept. This is first reported by our contributor, Douglas Tratner, in the Cleveland Scene magazine. DJ Ryan Wolf Gullette is part of a group bringing this to Cedar Road. It will be an ensemble sort of movie theater with a ticket booth that'll take the place of your traditional host stand, and the staff will be dressed in ushers' uniforms. There'll be artwork showing horror movie icons like Pennywise, Slimer from the Ghostbusters, and Frankenstein's monster. And when it comes to the dishes that will be served, it's being called Urban Eclectic American Dishes, so an emphasis on comfort food with a twist. There will also be a Brinner section. I think this sounds pretty good. That's breakfast for dinner, like French toast and waffles. Andre Scott, Jeremiah Burks, and Christopher Thomas have partnered with Gullette. Now, if you didn't know, Gullette spends his Sundays as the Cleveland Browns in-house DJ at First Energy Stadium. The group has also brought on Darnell Super Chef Ferguson as its super executive chef. He's been featured on various food TV shows, including Super Chef's restaurants in Columbus and Louisville. He operates the Super Chef's restaurants in Columbus and Louisville. Doug Tratner says that the Haunted House restaurant hopes to open in late June 2021. Here's some exciting news for a Northeast Ohio man. He's 36 years old, and his name is Michael Allio, and he'll be appearing on the upcoming season of ABC's The Bachelorette. That'll come out this summer, and Katie Thurston will be handing out the roses. On Instagram, Mike wrote, "When love is real, it finds a way," and he made a joke and he said, worst case scenario, he can use this footage to embarrass his son for the rest of his life. Well, I think Mike is being modest. I know him just a little bit. He's a great guy. He's a single dad whose world revolves around his 4-year-old son. He says when it comes to dating, they're a package deal, and he wouldn't have it any other way. One of his traits that he is advertising on the show is that he makes a mean plate of dino nuggies. He's an entrepreneur, and he's the founder of the L4 Project. He's a widowed father, and he was recently named to Crain's Cleveland's Business 40 Under 40 list for making a difference in the Northeast Ohio community. So we will definitely be following Mike's journey along the road for love. Now, everybody's been talking about this shottery, right? The $1 million Vax-A-Million 5-time drawing that's going to happen here over the next couple weeks. Well, somebody in Ohio, or at least driving through Ohio, recently won the $1 million Mega Millions ticket. It was sold in Lorain County at the Middle Ridge Service Plaza along the Ohio Turnpike in Amherst. The winning numbers came out on Tuesday. They were 3, 5, 56, 61, and 66. The Mega Ball, the one everybody wants to match, was 4. So the ticket sold in Amherst is among 4 $1 million winners. They each matched 5 numbers. They missed out on the top prize because they didn't match that number 4 mega ball. Now the jackpot's at $515 million for the next drawing. That's on Friday at 11 p.m. And before I let you go here, it is Wednesday, so that means we've got your midweek break for good news. We've got your show, It's All Good News. That's up on the WKYC YouTube page. This week we are celebrating a very big birthday. Adorable, furry octuplets making history at the Akron Zoo, and we meet a little boy who would do absolutely anything for his puppy. He puts his money where his mouth is, too. That's on WKYC.com. There's a whole playlist there for your weekly break of It's All Good News. That's it for your update today for Wednesday, May 19th. I'll see you next up on What's New with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for more 3 News Now. In the meantime, everyone, stay safe and be well. I'm Stephanie Haney.